In a relatively stunning turn of events, Deshaun Watson waived his no-trade clause for the Browns. Pearce, Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson. How's that for a fantasy trio?
That's a pretty good fantasy trio. That's a pretty good offense. I mean, they've upgraded at quarterback. They've upgraded at wide receiver. This offense wasn't terrible last season when it was healthy. The line was fine. So now you've got all these upgrades. Amari Cooper was fine last season. I know his numbers were down a little bit, but that was just the product of the offense having plenty of weapons and then game scripts. Cooper will be fine. Hopefully Watson won't skip a beat, and they're going to be a pretty potent offense. I would like to see them add another wide receiver, maybe Cole Beasley or whoever they can get, because the AFC North offenses look pretty strong, and they could be in shootouts every single week, so they're going to need a little bit more firepower. Also, as you add more receivers, it's going to enable Chubb to have more running lanes. Less teams are going to be able to stack the box, so it looks really good for the Browns right now. Now, they may have kind of mortgaged their future a little bit, but they're in a position to win in 2022.
Geoff, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, from a real-life perspective, Browns still have a lot of young players on defense and things. I don't think the trade picks or trading the draft picks are necessarily going to hurt them that much. It's great. From a fantasy perspective, I would really watch what the Browns do the rest of the way. And I think Pearce nailed it, saying they need to add someone like a Cole Beasley. You look at what the Browns ran last year on offense. They ran a lot of 13 personnel. They had 3 tight ends on the field a ton of times. That's not really good for Deshaun Watson's fantasy prospects. This is a player who didn't do a ton of play action in Houston. He's used to 11 personnel, so 3-4 wide receiver on the field. Cleveland just does not do that, or they didn't do that last year. So if you're expecting Deshaun Watson to just come in, fling the ball 40 times again, put up monster yardage, it may not happen right off the bat. I'm not saying he's not going to be successful. They can tailor the offense to him. RPOs are going to be a thing. They do have David Njoku there, who I think is a very interesting prospect right now. He's managed to stay on the roster despite demanding a trade, but he might be their best receiver outside of Amari Cooper right now. Cooper's a great deep ball catcher as well. He had great deep ball stats last year. He's had them his whole career. So if he stays healthy, I think he's going to be an absolute stud. But that Cleveland roster, a little thin at wide receiver. And like I said, Deshaun Watson's history, he's more used to these 3 wide receiver personnels. Watch what Cleveland does. If they do sign some more wide receivers, it's going to be even better news for Deshaun Watson.